La Résistance. This article is from Town Hall, posted February 26 by Bruce Bialosky, founder of the Republican Jewish Coalition of California. Bonjour, mon ami. J'enjoy la résistance. The first thing you should do is buy a beret and stock up for living in the forest to fight the enemy. Come join the battle with me. Lost control of government at virtually every level except for the large cities they so destructively control. First, we must analyze how the left has arrived at the idea that they should use civil disobedience as their answer to being a minority of Americans that has lost control of government at virtually every level except for the large cities they so destructively control. Saying they are resisting is bad enough. Calling themselves the resistance may have occurred by happenstance or a byproduct of their normal marketing. After all, the real resistance, the French underground, which fought the Nazis after the government did nothing to stop the military buildup of Germany, leading to World War II, collapsed in about 42 days during the invasion by the Germans, and then formed the Vichy government, which acquiesced to the Germans. But the bigger point is that the left classifies anyone who disputes their desire for America to become a socialist, centrally controlled society as Nazis. To them, mainstream Republicans are Nazis. It is particularly rich because the left riots, burns buildings, attacks people, shuts down the speech of people they oppose, and then they call Republicans Nazis. How does that work? Guess they never read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William Shirer. Those were the tactics of the Nazis, and then they burned the Reichstag, they claimed, and blamed others and seized control. It is clear after 8 years of a lawless president lurching our federal government toward Washington, D.C., controlling our lives, dictated by unelected bureaucrats, the left now believes it is their birthright to continue this march toward the destruction of our freedoms. Buoyed by a judiciary that envisions itself as a second legislator, creating laws that fit their ideological needs, and completely ignoring statutes as they are written by the actual legislature. The current talk is how La Résistance compares to the Tea Party, which started in 2009. That is a laugh. The Tea Party was a spontaneous rising of average citizens who decided they were going to form legal entities to communicate their message. When they went about forming these legal entities, President Obama used henchmen like Lois Lerner at the IRS to kill, stall, delay, and manipulate these people from forming lawful entities, from which to marshal their efforts to communicate their message to their friends and neighbors. What did the press do during this time? Attack those average citizens. Then they nearly completely ignored the worst corrupting act our federal government has ever done by using the power of our federal taxing agency to suppress free speech. The IRS targeting Americans for their political beliefs. They allowed President Obama to state while walking out the door that his 8 years in office were scandal-free without laughing him out of the history books. Now they want to erroneously and ignorantly compare these professional complainers, marchers, and rioters to the Tea Party, as if to glorify a group they derided for years. La Résistance is run by professional protesters. They don't need to organize. They have legal organizations, some of which should be reviewed by the IRS to see if they are actually in compliance with their nonprofit status. Donald Trump tweets, just had a very open and successful presidential election. Now professional protesters, incited by the media, are protesting. Very unfair. We all know MoveOn.org, but there are many more. The Progressive Change Campaign Committee, made up of professional complainers, claim to have 1 million members. But what does membership mean here? People on a mailing list. There are hundreds of organizations like these legally formed, some for other purposes, making political statements and emailing their list to encourage people to disrupt anything the current elected leaders attempt to do. They are intertwined and quasi-legal. Tucker Carlson interviewed Michael Brune, executive director of the Sierra Club, formed in 1892, regarding environmental concerns. The organization issued a statement regarding abortion in solidarity with Planned Parenthood. The Sierra Club also came out against the border wall. Both times when asked, Brune delivered a twisted defense of how these statements meet their mission. These organizations are all intertwined, legally formed, and frequently veering from their missions. The National Resource Defense Council was one of the two prime organizers of the Women's March. What did the march have to do with the environment other than the trash they left for others to clean up afterwards? This group touts 2.4 million members, and they probably overlap significantly the membership of the other lead sponsor of the march, Planned Parenthood. Yes, Planned Parenthood used our money to fund the organization of the march. They will tell you money is not fungible, but it is. This was clearly a political march. Planned Parenthood is a 501c3 charitable organization, which prohibits them from doing political organizing. That would be a 501c4. That is what the Tea Party was legally stopped from forming. In fact, many of the left's organizations are illegally breaking the rule regarding involvement in politics. The primary point here is that a large group of people, but small numerically compared to our national population. They get funding from some of the same sources like George Soros, Tom Steyer, and sometimes American taxpayers. They are using their existing status to attack the current administration. If you want to allow them to win the battle and stop any change from happening, then just sit home and watch. If you think this country has been lawlessly lurching to the left, then you must stand up and stop these professional complainers and thugs from taking over the country. Resist la Résistance. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. I'm John Brooker. And please share this video on social media. Thank you so much.